Let's make a Picasso Poppy with Ms.Boley. You might be wondering, who was Picasso? Well, he was a Spanish painter. He was born in Spain and lived for most of his life in France. And he is probably most well known for his portraits of people, where their faces are all kind of rearranged and there's a lot of different shapes that we don't actually see in real life. And this is a quote from Picasso. Are we to paint what's on the face, what's inside the face, or what's behind it? So here are some examples of those portraits I was talking about. So we can see that there are lots of different geometric shapes as well as organic shapes. And there's a lot of pattern as well. We see a lot of stripes and a lot of zigzags and a lot of dotted lines and a lot of hatching. And so we're going to take some of this type of style and we're going to apply it to our poppy art. So why are we doing this? Well, it lets us review the names for shapes, so geometric shapes and organic shapes. And we're also reviewing warm and cool colors. And what we just learned about Pablo Picasso was a little bit about art history. So there's that as well. All right, so what will we need? We're going to use our visual journal or a sheet of paper. We're going to need a pencil and an eraser if you want. We're going to use markers, or I'm going to use markers in the video. If you don't have markers, that's okay. You can just use pencil crayons or any other type of material that allows you to add color. A Sharpie marker is really helpful to do those bold outlines like we see in Pablo Picasso's artwork. And I'm going to use some found objects that are geometric shaped objects. I can provide a template. If you don't have any found objects to trace, I'll provide a shapes template. But what I'm going to use in the video is just some objects from my home. So I've got some Lego that is a rectangle. I got a magnet block that's a triangle shape. A roll of tape is a circle. And for a square, I have a post-it note. So any type of geometrically shaped object that you have will be perfect for this project. Right, so let's get started. So I'm gonna start by drawing in pencil a really big poppy. So I want it to fill up the majority of my page. And I'm gonna use this reference image on the screen here, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it being perfectly realistic because remember, we're kind of trying to emulate Picasso. So we're not trying for realism. So I'm just looking at the poppy just to give me an idea of what kind of shapes I should maybe be drawing. So I'm drawing the center and then some of those petals coming out. And they're kind of almost like a spiral shape. And then I'm going to also draw the stem. And now I'm going to outline my drawing and add a little bit more details with a Sharpie marker. If you don't have a Sharpie marker, then you can just skip this step or you can just use a different kind of marker. Any kind of marker will do for this part. All right, and now for the fun part. So I'm gonna grab those objects that I collected, that I found in my home, and I'm going to trace them. So these are my geometric shapes. So I have a circle, I have a rectangle, a triangle, and a square. And I'm gonna repeat them maybe twice or 3 times. It's really up to you. So I'm just going to use my marker. I'm not gonna worry about tracing it with pencil. And I'm gonna trace several geometric shapes. So I'm gonna do maybe 2 or 3 of each of my 4 shapes. And this is your artwork, so it is up to you how many you choose. But go ahead and do several tracings of geometric shapes on to your poppy drawing. almost done. Just gonna add a couple more. All right, so there is my Picasso inspired drawing. Now I'm gonna add color. So this is just a review of the color wheel. So the colors up on the top, the red, orange, and yellow, are what we call warm colors. And then green, blue, and purple are what we call cool colors, although any color can be warm or cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to separate my markers into warm colors and cool colors. And the warm colors I'm going to use for the poppy, and the cool colors I'm going to use for my background. So I'm going to start out by coloring with just one color for now, and I'm going to color in the different little shapes that have been created from overlapping my poppy drawing and my geometric shapes. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that none of my spaces that I color are going to end up with the same color touching. So I'm kind of trying to go, and I only have yellow, orange, and red. Those are the only 3 warm colors that I have. And so I want to space out my colors so that they aren't going to be touching the same color. And if you happen to end up in a situation where you are going to have the same color touching in 2 spaces, that's totally fine. It's all good. But we're just kind of trying our best to spread them out so that they're not touching another space of the same color. So it's kind of like a puzzle we're putting together. Okay, so I now have all of the yellow kind of completed for now, and I think I've spaced them out really well, so I won't have to have colors touching. And then I'm going to start with my next color, my next lightest color. And you can do your colors in any order. I just like to do them in rainbow order like this. So I'm going to start filling in some spaces with orange, and then I'll start filling in some spaces with red. Now I have my whole poppy all colored in with my warm colors, and now I'm gonna go and do my background with the cool colors. So pretty much exactly the same process. I'm just gonna fill in using one color at a time, and then I will try not to let them touch, like a purple space touch another purple space, and then I'll go in with my blue and then my green. And really, you're making all the decisions here. So the only requirements are that the poppy is the warm colors and the background is the cool colors. So if you have other materials that you're using, like pencil crayons, or even if you're trying out something different, you can use a variety of different colors for your foreground and background. They just have to be warm for the poppy in the foreground and cool for the background. And that's it. Can't wait to see your Picasso poppy art and see how it turned out. Thanks for watching.